Welcome to another Time Trial Tuesday. This week, we'll be playing Forza Motorsport and using the legendary McLaren MP4/4 that drivers such as Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost used to drive. We'll be doing this on the Silverstone circuit, which is no stranger to F1 cars, so it should be a lot of fun, and I've done it in other games and other cars, so it should be fun using this car and seeing how it handles it. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's supposed to be pretty fast This car is supposed to be pretty fast in Forza, so we'll see what we need, or if we need to do any tweaks to the car or anything like that. And then go over our lap after and kind of my thought process going through it. But without further ado, let's get into it. So starting our flying lap here, going on to the Hamilton straight, trying to get as much speed as we can, staying in fifth, and then just lifting a little bit and taking that curb and back on the power as quick as we can. Going into turn 3 here, going all the way down to second. Took a little bit too much of that sausage curb there, but didn't hinder me too much. Down to first for turn 4 there. And then trying to get as much power and speed through turn 5 as we can. A little bit slower, about 0.2 slower than my fastest little section there. Slowing down to third and trying to take that and take a little bit of curb with it. Down to second and just kind of going on the edge. This car was really hard to turn, I found, and I was messing with the steering settings a lot because even it looks locked in game, the steering wheel, but it wasn't when I was actually turning it sometimes. Like I could turn it further in real life. Yeah, down to fifth here, and it was really easy to go over track limits right there if you weren't paying attention, but back up to sixth, down to fifth here. And I definitely lost some time right here because I smoked that. Probably lost close to 0.2 because I was up to about 4. And then as we'll see on the next point here on the straights, I'm down to 2. So definitely lost some time there, but try and make it up through the last final corners here, down to third, as much power as we can. Going into the final chicane here, turn 16 and 17, just trying to find as clean of a line as we can. Yeah, going back on the power as fast as we can, fastest little section there, and cross the line. Wow, a 147.487, that's not too bad. I probably, as we saw through my review of my lap and kind of what I was thinking, I probably could have shaved a couple tenths here and there and a bit more time off that lap and got closer to maybe like a higher 146. But yeah, I put a lot of attempts, and the amount of times I went over track limits, it was getting pretty crazy, so I just kind of had to take a break, and I came back to it later to try and beat it again, and I still couldn't beat that time. So yeah, but I'm pretty happy with that. It was a lot of fun. I had to do a bit of adjustments with the steering was a little bit weird, because I don't know if the car in real life has full steering, but I like it where you can only have just like how the newer F1 cars are, that you can only do like 180-degree steering. And yeah, so I adjusted it closer to that, just because when you're going in a car that fast, I prefer to have closer steering and not having to do hand over hand steering while doing other things. So yeah, and I also adjusted a little bit of toe in the rear just to kind of stabilize the car a bit better, but it worked out really well. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how this car goes in multiplayer, if they have like a playlist or anything coming up in the future for it. Because yeah, it was fun to drive on the track, but it would be interesting to see how it is against other people, and if it feels like an actual F1 race. But yeah, that should be good. The other thing I would like to see is, it'd be cool to see Forza have a newer Formula 1 car in there. Like they did in Forza Motorsport 7, they had the 2017 Renault F1 car, and then the McLaren MP4/4, so you could kind of compare the two and see how they felt. So it'd be interesting to see that. If they add that, I'd like to see that. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good, and thank you for joining me. Like always, if you have a game, car, or track you want me to cover, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will see you next week again for another Time Trial Tuesday.